the HUD a lot last week or mention parts of the HUD? I don't think I did.
A little bit, not a lot.
Okay. I can also talk some about this, but I'm just going to start talking about it now. So some of the HUD information that you're going to see on screen, especially for the navigation stuff, the stuff that's important, right? So the pitch slider, kind of going through the middle, you're going to see the pitch slider is essentially just the uh, angle of which you are going up or down in relation to the horizon. So if I recall like a 5-degree climb or anything like that, you're basically just going to put that velocity vector, that little moving circle with the 3 lines on it. Uh, you're just going to put that at 5 degrees up or 5 degree bit down or whatever I call for. Uh, that pitch slider, again, dashed lines means you are losing altitude. Solid lines means you are gaining altitude. Right hand side, you'll see right now it should say 50. That is our barometric altitude, is what it's going to default to. Underneath that, you'll see a 0, but it could change to like a -1 or a 1 or anything like that. That's actually the actual degrees of pitch that you are currently at. So you can use that as reference to like when you're climbing, kind of it's another quick, easy look at it rather than having to rely on the velocity vector and the pitch ladder. Underneath that, on the right-hand side, I'm going to talk about this real quick, and then we'll get in the air, and I'll keep going after everybody's up. But on the right-hand side, you're going to see basically 5 lines of information. The first one should say 10R. That is your radar altitude. The radar altitude's only going to work up to, if I remember properly, it's 3,000 feet. After that, you're just going to see a bunch of X's because it'll no longer give you your radar altitude. Underneath that is going to be the waypoint number and the waypoint label. So right now I have mine set to 1/alpha, which is my currently selected waypoint. Below that line, you're going to see it's a distance to target, and it'll be the altitude that waypoint is at. So remember we made our first waypoint 5,000 feet? Well, right now I'm currently 21 miles from that waypoint, and I need to be at 5,000 feet to hit it. Then below that, you're going to see it's an 18, 12, 15. That is the time to your waypoint. Currently, it's not doing anything because I'm stopped, but as I start moving, and then when we get in the air, you'll see that numbers go down. That's your time to the waypoint. And then the last part, the very last line there is the time in game that it currently is. So it's currently 150. Sorry. Yeah, it should be the time in game. I don't know why it's saying 4 hours later. Because it's definitely not. Yeah, it should be the time in game, but I don't know why it's saying it that way. But it's not matching. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure it should be time in game. So that's that information. We're gonna go ahead and get in the air. So let's go ahead and set ourselves up for flight. All right. Today, talk a little bit about airfield ops. Generally, we want to call out when we're using the airfield. Radio brevity always is who you are trying to get a hold of, who you are, and what your intent is. So going out here onto the runway, I'm going to let anybody know, there's really nobody on the server, we're going to do it anyway, to let anybody know that I'm going to be taking off. I'm going to, do you both have SRS open by chance? Okay. I'm going to be on frequency 228. That's going to be on the middle radio. You should be able to hear it. I believe it's the standard frequency that you spawn in with. So I'm going to give a call out for letting somebody know we're taking off. So, Sanaki traffic, this is going to be hog flight of 3 A10s, taking runway 27 for departure. So Sanaki traffic is who I'm talking to. It's going to be anybody that is in or around Sanaki that would care about a couple of A10s taking off. Who we are going to be Hog Flight. It's just what I've named us. And then what my intent was. So we were going to be taking runway 27, which is the one in front of us. We're going to be taking runway 27 for departure. Very simple, very clean. It doesn't have to be super, like, always, the right verbiage. Just as long as you can get your intent across, that's the big part of it. So, but that's the general gist of what most radio messages are. It's who you're trying to contact, who you are, and then what your intent is. If you can remember that, most people are not going to yell at you if you don't know exactly everything about radio brevity. So I'm going to take the left lane here. We're going to do a staggered takeoff here. So I'm going to take the left lane of the runway, and then whoever's behind me, take the right lane, and then whoever's last, you're going to come in behind me. I'm going to pull forward quite a bit, give you guys some room. So you're probably familiar with this from the F-16 class. I imagine you've done something similar. So you're going to go ahead and pull up about roughly equal to my vertical stabilizer. So your cockpit. And then same thing with you, Grasshopper, you're going to pull up until you're about roughly even with the backside of Snacks' vertical stabilizer.
Okay.
All right. So, just real quick, when we do A10 stuff, especially like when we're doing stuff like this, our procedure is going to be brakes on. You're going to run up your engines to about 85% or so. You can actually go all the way to 100% in the A10. You will not budge the brakes. The engines are not powerful enough to go through the brakes. Snacks, you're probably familiar with not being able to do that in the F-16 because it'll overrun the brakes. Can't do that in the A10. Or, or really any other jet for that matter. But the A10, you can go to 100% throttle, and you will not overpower the brakes whatsoever.
85% the RPM or the fin speed?
85% RPM.
All right.
We're gonna do what we would call like a pre-flight quick check, right? So gonna make sure radios are on, make sure any applicable lights are on, make sure your navigation's set up properly, make sure your systems are all set where you need them to in order for proper takeoff. So right now I've got my lights on, I've got got all my gauges and everything set up for where I need them to. What we are going to do is after I release my brakes, Snack, you're going to count to 10. And then you will take off on your side. And then from there, Grasshopper, you will count to 10 once Snacks leaves, and then you will take off. There might be some jet wash. I will not say there won't be. So just be cautious of that fact. We do try and give you a little bit of space, but depends on how quickly certain things go out. So cool. So I'm going to be green jet, so I'm gonna go full throttle and brakes. And then just gonna do your normal takeoff, try and stay in your lane. So I'm at 60 knots. I don't know why I'm over so far. So, and then 130, I am pulling up. Okay, gear up. Can't see the HUD. Too much. All right. So I'm at about 2,000 vertical feet of climb. I would say 5 degrees of climb, but can't see the half the HUD right at the moment. And then I'm gonna try and hold about 220 knots, actually about 210, as we depart. So that way we can kind of join up. And we're gonna climb all the way to 5,000 feet. So as soon as you guys get a chance, go ahead and join up back with me. Nice.
I was wondering, say, Snack, did you forgot something?
Super fast. That's way faster than I want to be. Slow down for you guys here.
How fast are you flying, boss?
You'll see me flying, I promise.
I see you because of the label, but I'm doing 230, try to catch up with you.
Yeah, I was going a little fast. But I've slowed down now. And I'm almost at 5. Alright, so I am at Angels 5. Now, if you were able to see your HUD at all, if you look at the very bottom underneath the ticker tape, or underneath the pitch ladder, you're going to notice a kind of a line of dashes with numbers over top of them. Hopefully everybody sees that. Is that right?
All right.
So that is called the ticker tape. It's essentially the bearing that your aircraft is currently headed. So it's going to show you the first 2 numbers of anything. So 27 is 270, so we're heading due west. 00 is going to be due north, so on and so forth. You'll see an arrow underneath that. That's just basically kind of giving you a specific, this is where your heading is. And then underneath that, as long as your first waypoint is designated as waypoint alpha, you should see 2 vertical bars. They're going to look like a solid block, unless you like really zoom in. They're going to look like a solid block, and that is the bearing on which you should fly in order to get to your selected waypoint. So right now, I'm currently heading about 267 or so, somewhere in that fact. That's where I need to be to get to the first waypoint. I'm actually going to correct a little bit. It will also adjust for wind as well. So, like right now, if you're able to see my screen or not, but you'll notice my nose isn't exactly pointed at the waypoint, which is on the HUD. It should show up as a box in front of you. But I'm not flying currently straight at it because, again, the A10 will take wind into account over the course of your flight path to get there.
Huh?
Interesting. What is your currently selected waypoint? Okay. So you didn't see anything at the bottom of the ticker tape? Yeah. I've. I don't know. I've never heard of that. I wish I could see it. Can you, yeah, can you stream it real quick? Because I'm very curious.
Some kind of error.
I'm thinking that's the case. But I'm not positive on that. Find here, stream. Oh, it's because can you hit the clear or delete button on the UFC or the CDU, whichever one. Clear would probably be easier. It's underneath the Y key. Yeah. Try look up to the HUD again. What the? I've never seen that before. Interesting. Did you do? No, did you hot start or did you cold start? Did you do a? I was gonna say, I'm wondering if you. Yeah, I wonder if your bit test maybe didn't go through properly.
Hold on.
Warning, autopilot.
Because that's. I've never seen that before.
Let me see.
Yeah, you should be able to bit test. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, GCast bit. Yeah, that one. Try that one.
Oh, that's not a good. That's not a good sign to hear. Pull up, pull up.
Altitude,
it's just,
altitude.
Right. You guys all right? Okay. I saw somebody behind me. Alright, I'm gonna just sit here and do a real quick orbit. And also give myself some throttle so I don't freaking fall out of the sky.
Alright, give me the tiny parties formation.
The delete should be, or the clear should work.
Alright, here's the question. What page on the...
Oh, then no. Look at one of your MFDs. Bottom right hand corner should be a button that says ACK on it. Press that. There you go. Boom! Fixed it. Alright. Let's go ahead and get you back with us. Is that green smoke? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that's a really not bright color, huh? Alright, so I'm popping green smoke. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I don't see you on the tag, so...
it's not really bright, but it's there.
Yeah, I noticed that the green's not fantastic. I should have picked a different color.
It's okay.
I was
I don't
hoping
even...
I was hoping it'd be brighter, but apparently not.
Well, if we fly above your altitude, we can see clearly. But if you fly below you, you can't even see the background of the sky.
Yeah. Let me know when you're going back up there, Snipes.
It's pretty cool to see the airplane simple, just a bubble.
There you are. You see you, I think.
That's me on your right, 3.
No, I was looking the other direction. I'm pretty sure that's Snacks right there. See you. Pretty close. I'm actually gonna turn and go level here. So going kind of slow, so go ahead and whip around and join up on us. And we're gonna go ahead and start a 4-degree climb on bearing here to waypoint 2. That off for now, since you guys are both nearby again. Looks like next cut up. I'm gonna bump up our speed about 250, so that we can get this puppy going.
Roger that, 3. Good practice for the formation flying.
Yep, that's part of the reason why we do it. Practice some formation flying, get used to navigating, correct a little bit right.
3.
Just to keep myself on bearing here.
I'm follow you, so you do waypoint 2, I do waypoint 2.
Yep.
Hey, here's the question is, when you pass the waypoint, does the flight plane automatically select the next waypoint without using the DMS? Or do you need manually select it?
So if you have it on auto, as long as you pass through the waypoint, it'll automatically change to the next waypoint. It's kind of what auto does. If you have it set to manual, you will have to you will have to yourself go through each individual waypoint on your own.
Roger that.
So, while we're talking here a little bit more for the navigation side of things, if you look on your HUD now, kind of off to about your, like, let's say 12:30, 1 o'clock on your HUD, you should see a box with a line pointed towards your velocity vector. That is your currently selected speed/steer point. In this case, it's going to be a steer point since that's what we're using to navigate, but it could point towards your TGP. It could point in other directions as well. But it's a somewhat of a visual representation of like where you're actually kind of headed, where you're going to be looking. Up about where I need to be. Correct right again.
3. Hey, Snack, you want to stay on his right wing? I move to the left wing. That's alright. I do the left wing. You can go to the right wing.
Gonna come wings level here at about just over Angels 10. Now, I will tell you, just so that way you're aware, you might start getting shot at. So we are going to be passing by the hard target range.
Oh, it's okay.
As we fly here. Wasn't originally intentional. I just have also neglected to change the waypoints since I originally set them. So if you start hearing flak, just keep flying fast.
Alright, do this.
Yeah. So the ticker tape. I mean, now that you can see it, but basically the part of it. Also, for just before I do the ticker tape, watch your HUD here as we pass to waypoint through waypoint 2. Once you get to a certain part, now we're changed to waypoint 3. Now we're going to come right here.
Warning, autopilot.
Yes, autopilot. I'm aware of it. I'm turning.
Autopilot.
Yep. So now if you look at your ticker tape right now, you'll notice well, maybe not anymore, but there was an arrow key with a number next to it, or an arrow with a number next to it. That means that you need to turn a direction coming wings level. That means you need to turn in a right or left in order to get to that specified heading for your next waypoint, or your speed, or whatever you currently are looking at. But as far as the ticker tape's concerned, again, it's going to show you the first 2 digits of your heading. So 08 is 080, 160 is, well, 16 is 160, so on and so forth. You'll see the arrow underneath it that's kind of pointing up to the ticker tape. That's just your heading. Nothing, crazy with that. And then underneath it, you should see 2 vertical lines. Those are basically the bearing that you need to go to in order to get to your next waypoint or speed or anything like that. It's not going to tell you the exact bearing. It's just going to give you a visual representation. That's what the arrow is for. As long as you line those 2 up, you should fly. And like I said, it will take wind into account. So like right now, if you look at my HUD or your guys' own HUDs, you'll see that the box for the waypoint is not where my plane is currently headed. It's kind of off to the center and technically down because we do need to descend here in the next 20 miles. You also have the TAD set as your speed, so go ahead and press TMS aft short. Or sorry, aft long. Okay, let's reset. Do China hat forward, or sorry, China hat aft long. Or is it aft short?
Long.
Oh, sorry. Make your HUDs soy first. Coolie hat forward short. Now I'll press the CMS aft. Should only be 1 press.
Yeah, mass is aft short long.
Hold on. 1 second. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, make your TAD soy. So coolie hat left long. Yep. Coolie hat left long. And then it should be TMS aft long. Okay, look at your HUD again. Yep, so steer point. There you go. So now you should be on steer point 3, right? On the right? Yep, there you go. Yeah, so so that should be ahead of us. Yeah, so... Well, no, it's not on your compass. Look directly forward at your velocity vector. You see the square that's ahead of you with the line coming out? That's what I was talking about. Yeah. The reason you weren't seeing the line was because technically your TAD was telling you where you were going instead of your steer point. That's why you didn't see it. An F-18. Yep. So, okay, we do need to descend to 7,500 feet as per our waypoint. So we're gonna do a 5-degree descent here. I'm gonna try and maintain 25260 somewhere there.
Three.
And then after this, once we pass through waypoint 3, we're not going to use waypoint 4 in this case. I think you guys kind of understand how to use waypoints to navigate. What we're going to do is we're going to use the TACAN to finish our flight to back to Sanaki. We'll discuss that here in a minute after we pass through waypoint 3 and start turning. So we get back down to 7,500 feet.
Warning, autopilot.
Oops.
No, it's a John, take Jingle Highsmith. That's not my name.
So we'll level off here about 7,500 feet. So we have about another 1.5 miles until we get to waypoint 3. So I'm going to start targeting with TACAN stuff. And we'll actually do stuff out here as we go. Or after we make our turn here. So it'll change to waypoint 4. Alright, and we'll begin our turn. So TACAN, what we're going to do, use two things here to navigate back. The first thing we're going to need to do is after we complete our turn on bearing here to waypoint 4, we're going to turn our TACAN on, and we're going to set a course line to get back to Sanaki here. So finish this. And I'm just going to come wings level here. Doesn't really matter as we get to waypoint 4. I'm going to start just slowly descending. So what we need to do, real quick, we already have our TACAN set. Does everybody have their TACAN on currently? Just verify that it's physically on.
It's on.
Down to the right.
Yes.
So what we need to do, if you know where our EGI and our steer point indicators are underneath the HSI, we're going to go ahead and switch off a steer point to the TACAN option on your HSI. That's,
you mean the bottom panel,
Yep.
panel? Select
Yep.
the can. I never
Yep,
use
where
the
the-
steer point. Yeah.
Yep, where the green arrow things are.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's
so
the can.
we're gonna change the TACAN. So you should notice that the one on the on the HSI, we're gonna be kind of using this to navigate from now. Is pointing at, it's about 235 right now. You guys see that?
Yeah.
So that one is pointing towards the TACAN station, which is where Sanaki is. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do is I wanted you guys to set a course line, which is the bottom right knob of the HSI. And you're just going to go ahead and set a course line of 268 for me.
268.
Yep.
Copy.
So course line here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting that course line. This is the actual heading of runway 27 at Sanaki. And you should see that line kind of in the center of the whole compass plate. That line should now be kind of perpendicular-ish in front of us. And our objective here is going to be twofold. What we are going to do is we're just going to continue flying perpendicular to that line in order for us to get into a direction so that way we can land at Sanaki's runway 27. And as we get closer to where that course line is, you're going to see it start getting closer to us.
Warning,
which it should
autopilot.
start doing here in a few moments. You're going to see that it's going to start getting closer to us. And as it does, we're going to do a right-hander turn here, which is what it's doing now. So we're going to start taking a right-hand turn here. And we're going to use that course line. We want to line that course line up with the rest of that arrow set that's on the compass plate and the lubber line. And also line all of that up with the 1, which is the direction of the TACAN station for Sanaki. And we're just going to use the airfield as an example, but this could also be for a tanker. Could use a very similar process for a tanker. Now we're going to come with this level here. Alright. So now, if we were to zoom out, you'll see Sanaki immediately out in front of us. And now we're going to begin our landing process. So we are a little bit closer than usual. So, try and give yourself a little bit of room. You know what, and actually, I'm